Brunei to punish gay sex and adultery with death by stoning. A new law which comes into effect from next week will punish homosexual sex and adultery with death in the small Southeast Asian kingdom of Brunei. Beginning on April 3, any individuals found guilty of the offences will be stoned to death, according to a new penal code. The punishment will. The country's strict new laws were announced in 2014, and have been rolled out gradually. The latest phase of human rights groups were quick to express horror at the penal code, which will also order amputation as a punishment for theft. Brunei. There was a broad international outcry when in 2014 to adopt Sharia law, an Islamic legal system which outlines strict corporal punishments. With more international pressure, the small nation said it has no plans to halt the law. A new statement from the office of Brunei's Prime Minister says the country has always. The two systems will run in parallel starting April 3, the statement said, and will maintain. The tiny, oil-rich kingdom of just over 450,000 people is located on the island of Borneo, close to moderate Islamic nations of Indonesia and Malaysia. In comparison to its neighbors, Brunei has grown conservative in recent years, including banning the sale of alcohol. The new penal code was announced in May 2014, by the Sultan of Brunei, Hassanal Bolkiah, who also acts as the country's prime minister. In announcing the change on March 28, George Clooney called for a boycott of the 9 hotels linked to Brunei, 3 of which are in the UK, 2 in the US, 2 in France and 2 in Italy. They include the Beverly Hills Hotel and the Bel Air in Los Angeles, the Dorchester in London and Le Meurice in Paris. Other world leaders have followed in denouncing the country's harsh practices and stood by the LGBT community. Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz called the decision cruel. He said on Twitter, The UK's Secretary of State for International Development Penny Mordaunt said no. And former Vice President Joe Biden commented on the new law saying it was appalling.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.